Hello dear students, welcome to the online education of class 7 science. So dear students, we have been discussing about the lesson soil. So in the previous classes we have discussed about the types of soil. So before that we have understood the properties of soil also. So we have been discussing about the properties of soil, and one more concept we have learned, that is percolation rate of water, that would be calculated by using the formula. So the amount of water taken in milliliters divided by the time taken to percolate. So based on that we'll get the percolation rate of water. So that can be arranged in a order of soil sample. Okay, so which kind of soil sample have the more percolation rate, and which kind of soil sample has the less percolation rate, that we can arrange in the increasing order of their rate of percolation. So that we have completed in the previous class. So now let's go on for the next concept, that is moisture in the soil. Okay, see, there is a simple question, let me ask you. So do you think that the soil contains the moisture? Yes, of course, the soil contains moisture. So how does it express the moisture? And during the summer season, so what happens to this moisture which is present in the soil? Why during the summer days the moisture cannot be maintained in the soil? Okay, during the rainy season it would be maintained. So let us understand why this thing takes place. See, it's quite simple. So whenever you pass through a farm, okay, so during the hot summer day, what do you find? So you will notice that the air above that land in the sense farmland, you seems to be shimmering. Okay, so why is it so? Why it is shimmering? So for that there is an reason is there. Okay, so let us understand that reason by, let us find out the reason or the answer for that by using an one activity. So such a simple activity which is given here, activity number 9.5. So let us understand that activity number 9.5. So what you need to do is, here you must have a stand and clamp. Take one boiling tube and put 2 spoonful of soil sample in it, in a boiling tube. So now heat it on a flame. So by using the Bunsen burner, and first you have to, that boiling tube you have to fix to a stand and a clamp. So later on, so you have to put the 2 spoonful of soil in it, inside it, and later on you have to start burning Bunsen burner. You have to keep a Bunsen burner just behind the boiling tube so that it start getting the heat. Okay, so using a flame. So now look at the figure 9.6 here. So observe it carefully. So let us find what happens upon heating. Let us try to identify what happens after heating. So it's quite simple here. So do you see any drops of water anywhere, any part of the boiling tube now after heating for some days, some time, 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Yes. If you find, if suppose if yes, so where did you find, where did you observe the drops of water droplets? You find, where did you find it? In the boiling tube. See, it's quite simple here. So on heating, what happens here? The water in the soil. So normally what happens here on heating, so the water in the soil, it gets evaporated. It's quite simple. So during the summer days, that only takes place. The water which is present in the different river sources, in the different water sources, gets evaporated due to the heat of the sun. So same thing happens here during the heating process, or whenever the heat is provided to any object. What happens here? So water in the tube, boiling tube, or even water in the soil, it gets evaporated. So water in the soil gets evaporated, so it moves up. So when it is evaporated, it starts moving up, and later on what it becomes, it get condensed on the cooler inner walls. Okay, so if it is naturally it is happening, so it get condensed and fall down as a rain. Now we are boiling a water in a test tube. Okay, so when it is heated, so it's get condensed, it gets evaporated, and it rises. So later on it again condenses on the inner walls of the this boiling tube. Okay, so inner walls of the upper part of the boiling tube, it get condenses. Okay, so what happens here, the example is this, scientific method or lab activity will show us. So during same thing happens in a hot summer day. So you are the soil is getting heated up due to the heavy sun. Okay, the soil is getting heated up on a heavy summer day. So what happens here, the vapor coming out of the soil, whatever the vapor comes no out of the soil, so the vapor coming out of the soil reflect the sunlight. Okay, that air which is coming out of the soil, hot air, so it reflects the sunlight, and the air above it, air above the soil, seems to shimmer. That's why the air above the soil present, that particular soil, seems to shimmer. Okay, so now, so after heating the soil, so when you heat the soil in a test tube, so it take it out of the tube. So you have to remove that soil out of the test tube. After heating it, you have to remove the soil from out of the test tube. So now compare the soil, or compare the test tube, compare the tube with what? You have to compare it with the soil which has not been heated. So whatever the soil which is heated, so you compare it with the soil which is not been heated. So note the differences between them. So by that you will understand what happens here. The water droplets are condensed, and as well as they are evaporated, and then they are condensed in the upper part of the boiling tube. So that is what you can observe by this example. So dear friends, I hope you understood this concept. Let me continue with this concept in the next bit. Thank you and have a nice day.